Is this working, this mic? Is it working? Is this working, my friend? Don't worry, I can use that one. Yeah, maybe it's not. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, okay. Okay, my friends, after all this wonderful, sacred moving here and there, so a very heartfelt welcome to you. Please know your presence is truly a blessing. As per custom, we always ring this bell, and I say it every single time. The moment I make this sound, you're glued to your seats until we ring it again, meaning it's over. So unless you want to use what we call sacred sanctuary of release, which is straight ahead, right there. Okay, my friends, here's, oh, already happened. Okay, you're glued to your seats now. I think it's Brother Chris's turn now. Who's doing the ancestors? Yeah, here's Brother Chris.
Good morning. Thank you, Brother Jamal. My name is Chris Rapsevich, and I'm very pleased to be with you today to come and invite and honor our ancestors. So when I think of ancestors, I think not just of my parents or other blood relations. I think of folks in books that I've read or other teachers that I've worked with. And I hope to hold these folks that have created positive influences in my life and helped to draw me to be with you today. And I hope you can do the same. So I'm have my hand over my heart, and I'm just trying to gather those energies together, thinking of all the folks who I've come in contact with in the past that I'd consider my ancestors, and I hope you can consider the same. Be with us today. I'd also like to think that this is a continuum of time, and that would mean that our descendants, whatever we would term those folks, be it, again, relations by our blood or our, that we may come in contact with in our intimate relationships, or it may not be so intimate, folks we meet in stores and the old idea of the butterfly wings reverberating over history. I hope we can think of our descendants in that way, and to think that what we're doing today and how we're acting hopefully will produce positive influences on the future generations. So let's think a little bit about our descendants here too. May they be with us also. And then I'd also like to acknowledge that the land that Interfaith Community Sanctuary rests on, and frankly, all the lands of North America, South America, long ways, but specifically in the Seattle Ballard area. We're the Coast Salish people, several different tribes, most influential to the Seattle area were the Duwamish. And the Duwamish have a lovely, beautiful, huge river that runs through our town, but nationally, as a tribe, they're not actually recognized by the US government. So while we make contributions to the Duwamish effort through realrentduwamish.org, and I suggest you visit that too, and also the Longhouse that's in off of West Marginal Way. So to honor our Native folks, I'd like to also put my hand on my heart and gather up all the struggles and things that makes me human, and I'm going to offer those up to our Creator, raising my hand up. And as I raise my hand up, I'm going to say a sacred word. Hopefully the Creator will put a gift into my hand that I can then return to my heart. And I acknowledge that our great elder, not so much elder for me, but Sisinque Laura Boucher, elder of her folks of the Salish, Coast Salish people, taught us this rite. So the word I'm going to say as I raise my hand up is, oh. So if you want to say that with me, that's great. Again, thinking one more about all of our joys, sorrows, and to offer up. Oh. Blessed be. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, for that lovely introduction, and thank you, Brenda, for that beautiful music, which we'll be hearing more of. At this point, I'd like to invite Brother George up to make an offering for the Divine Feminine, another one of our traditions.
Thank you, Sally Jo. And indeed, it is one of our traditions, and one of my favorite parts of this service. I've had this opportunity a number of times, thanks to Sally Jo and Brother Jamal. And I'm never tired of it, because this really is an opportunity for me, but for all of us, to pause and reflect upon the divine within us, the divine which gives us access to the birth of the divine within us. And so it's really a privilege. And also, I want to point out that the feminine within us is not a gender issue. It is not the female in us. It's the divine feminine in us, as it says. And it's both male and female. And today, to sort of accentuate that point, I thought I would do a reading from a male perspective, from someone we may all know, Deepak Chopra. And appropriately enough, he entitles this, Embracing the Divine Feminine Power Within Us All. And here's what Deepak has to say. One feels a change in the wind that has been a long time coming. There has been an awakening that has brought on a call to attain and embrace social equity and justice. The fault lines are related to race, socioeconomics, and gender. This change we sense around us is brought on by a rise in embracing feminine energy, a potent energy that goes beyond political and social factors. There is something deeply spiritual stirring. The divine feminine isn't to be confused with gender or restricted to women, because in reality, the divine feminine is part of everyone's wholeness. When we divide all human experience into the narrow categories of men and women, we lose the opportunity to access wholeness. In order to truly love all people and for them to love themselves, we must each nurture the universal values that belongs to the divine feminine. Every human quality that we cherish has a pure source. And the closer you are to that source, the more intense, personal, and lasting your values will be. What does the divine feminine add to everyone's life? In one way or another, we all express qualities of the divine feminine. Whenever there is nurturing, devotional, compassionate, loving, intuitive, or reflective energy, the divine feminine is present. You might feel yourself resisting the expression of a certain quality to meet social approvals because we have all been conditioned to do so. When feminine energy is ignored or wounded, the same values that this energy carries are lost. In their absence, a presence of qualities associated with the masculine energy takes form. Forceful, overly competitive, controlling, domineering. These are attributes, and they are exaggerated and far removed from wholeness. Society tells us that these energies are either or, and we are made to feel uncomfortable expressing ourselves as we truly are. a union of all. Thank you.
Wow. That was a little mini sermon in itself. Thank you, George. We'll have a little musical interlude before Jamal comes up. Thank you again, Brenda. We're looking forward.
Don't fear the mountain, do not fear the climb. You will find tenderness and peace of mind. Don't fear the storms that gather at the foothills, for all the troubles you will pass, and your mind be still. Don't fear the eagle that flies above, for all your fears can be transformed to love. Don't fear the touch of love. Don't run away, for the light that shines within our hearts never, never goes away. Never, never, never goes away. Oh,
Brenda, thank you so much for that very soulful rendition. So maybe just a few seconds of silence to allow that, as a mystic say, to perfume your heart. Thank you. So my dear friends, once again, a very heartfelt welcome to you. And once again, and I mean it, I'm repeating myself, your presence is truly a blessing. Let's do one chant we traditionally do here, Allahu Allah, praising Allah, the God of all of humanity, knowing that when we praise divinity, God doesn't become holy, we become holy. Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah. Just the beloved women, please. Just the beloved men. Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah. Family all together. Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah. Once softly. Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah. Twice aloud. Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah. I'm just becoming very still. Thank you, my friends. So today the topic is really about sorrows, and the flip side of that is joys, knowing that in every religion there is this insight that really it's a world of opposites. Taoism, for example, says high is defined by low, long by short. Every religion says there is joys and there's bound to be sorrows. That's why, and we're studying this wonderful book, I guess we don't have it here, Zen and the Art of Saving the Planet by Thich Nhat Hanh. We have, this is our umbrella theme for the whole year. And if you study Buddhism, what is the first noble truth? That is to accept, if I really want to be fulfilled, freed, attain what is called moksha, may I acknowledge, yes, there is suffering in this world. Acknowledging it, accepting it. Noble truth number 2, and I'll stop there. What is the cause of suffering? The attachment to that which is transient, not permanent. In Sufism, there's this discernment between what is called form and essence. I might be hankering after money, after titles. That's the form. What I really want is, well, maybe love, freedom, security. Can I make a discernment with my mind and heart between form and essence? Rumi, sunlight fell upon the wall. Sunlight fell upon the wall received a borrowed splendor. Brother Jamal, Rumi says, why do you set your heart on a piece of brick? Why don't you seek the source that shines forever? Form and essence. Another one by Rumi, no matter how much money you accumulate, no matter how many titles you acquire, the thief will come from the unguarded side. Why don't you focus on that which can never be stolen? Love, compassion, mercy, being of service, generosity, graciousness. So just ponder on that. Does that, as the Islamic mystics say, does this splash in your heart? That's not the only cause of suffering. In fact, Buddhism goes on. Another cause of suffering might be that I am so overly attached to regret of the past, or too overly attached to an anxiety about the future. Just be with that. That's another cause of suffering. I like the words of Hafiz, which I repeat many times here, 14th century Persian sage, who says, what do sad people have in common? What do sad people have in common? They have built a shrine to a regret of the past. And they keep going there again and again and again and again and again, and they do a strange wail and worship. What do happy people have in common? They have stopped being so religious like that. Anxiety about the future? Well, this is spring. Spring is not post-winter, nor is it pre-summer. Spring is the place of spring. Can I be present? Those famous words from Buddhism, when sitting, sit. When walking, walk. Above all, don't wobble. When sitting, sit. When walking, walk. Above all, don't wobble. Okay, but then, the sages say, you can always give reason, causes of suffering, but now ponder on this. This is something we talk about quite often in our community. Why is there this situation where terrible things happen to innocent people? Gaza, Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, Russia, Sudan, and so many other places. In my ministry, I have been so fortunate to meet people and to talk to people and do therapy with people, and they've taught me a lot about one situation I'm thinking, a mother whose daughter was murdered, incest, terrible sexual abuse. Where was God in all of this? Why does God allow this? The best answer? Silence. None of us know. But I love this insight from the Islamic extra-Quranic stories. In the Quran it says, before God sent humanity down to earth, God gathered all of unborn humanity and said, Alastu bi rabbikum, am I not your sustainer? And we said, yes, yes, yes. And then God explained, this is a world of opposites. I'll be sending all of you down to earth, but before you go down to earth, come with me and look at this cosmic tree. Huge cosmic tree, and on the branches are packages of different sizes, small, medium, large. And God says, as the Quran says, of everything we have created opposites, so you may receive instruction, and only God is one. It's a world of opposites. There's joys, there's sorrows. These are packages of suffering. But you have a choice. You can take the small one, medium one, or large one. The nobler ones among us chose the larger packages so we might suffer less. So if somebody is suffering in that incessant way you can't explain, no need to look for causes. Islamic mystics say, with gratitude, just be of service to them. Okay, just be with that. And now let's talk about, so when there is suffering which is inevitable, what can we do? In the Quran says there came a time when Prophet Muhammad felt absolutely abandoned by God. For 1 year, we don't know exact time, how long, no more revelations came to the Prophet Muhammad, and he was ridiculed and made fun of. Where is this God who gives you revelations? And he felt very, very dispirited, depressed actually. Then finally revelation came, says the Quran, very tenderly, no, God has not abandoned you. But I want you to know this, says the Quran, in times of difficulty, in times of affliction, in times of desperation, remember 2 things. According to your capacity, continue with your spiritual practices and continue with being of service to others. According to your capacity. In fact, the Quran says, and Allah will provide for you in ways you cannot even imagine. And Rumi used to ponder on Quranic verses, and he comes up with this utterance, oh yes, in times of affliction, a stretcher will come from grace and pick you up. So the Quran says, when you're suffering, please be patient. If you can, as much as humanly possible. You know that famous story by Fariduddin Attar, who says there was this king who used to get so excited when he was winning the battles and everything was prosperous and flourishing, and then he would get so depressed when he was losing battles and there were terrible things happening in his kingdom. This constant up and down, up and down. So he's asked his wise counsel, please give me some advice that can help me overcome this fluctuation of overly excitement, terrible depression when times are good and times are bad. So what did they do? They took his ring, his ruby ring actually, and they inscribed 4 letters. I think, Salija, you know those words.
This too shall pass.
This too shall pass. That's why in the Quran there's this verse that says, after the difficulty there is the easing. It repeats it actually. After the difficulty there is the easing. So continue to strive. Be conscious of God. By the way, when I was writing, I've written a few books, and in Western publishers. So when I put this quotation there from the Quran, after the difficulty there is easing, after the difficulty there is easing, the editor always sends it back to me saying, you repeated twice, let's cross it out. But no, that's what actually is written in the Quran, you see. It's repeated twice. Okay, what else? The Quran says, other holy books say, be prayerful, pray. But pray with what is called increased necessity. That's a term we speak about often in our community. Praying with increased necessity, not just in a ritualistic way or in a formal way which doesn't use your mind or heart. That's why I love that Islamic verse. Oh God, I shall cry to thee and cry to thee and cry to thee until the milk of thy loving kindness boils over. Oh God, I shall cry to thee, implore to thee, I shall cry to thee and cry to thee until the milk of thy loving kindness boils over. And Rumi says, yes, when you pray, pray with passion. Give it that juice of passion. He says, have you not noticed that only when a baby is born does the mother's chest become filled with milk? Why? Because there is increased necessity for that. Let's just be with that. When I implore God, beseech God, do I do it with increased necessity? Now, a very important part about suffering. Can I be present with the suffering? The famous words by Rumi, which every Islamic mystic has commented on, saying this is so critical. We might say, when there is suffering, maybe some good comes out of it. It has to be from you, not from somebody telling you what that benefit is. But here's a key point that Rumi points out about suffering, which is inevitable. Don't run towards pain and suffering, just don't run away from it. I repeat, don't run towards pain and suffering, just don't run away from it. Suffering is inevitable. Carl Jung would say, the Western psychologist, would you once in your life have the courage to kiss the demons and dragons within you? That is how they turn into a prince or princess. You know, Islamic mystics have wonderful verses like, you know, like Rumi, the dark thought, the shame, the malice, greet them at the door laughing. Each one has been sent as a guide from beyond. Or Khalil Gibran, the Lebanese poet who wrote The Prophet. The more that sorrow carves into my being, the more that sorrow carves into my being, the more joy it can contain. But here's the key point, to be repeated again and again in Islamic literature. Don't run towards pain and suffering, just don't run away from it. That is why in that book called Book of Joy, which we have done many classes on that, Desmond Tutu, Dalai Lama, one of the main points of that book is the way you acknowledge, heal, and reframe your suffering is going to sculpt your character, your being, and sculpt the destiny of your life. Very important message. Brother Jamal, the way you acknowledge, heal, and reframe or transform, as you say, Salijo, the way you acknowledge, heal, and reframe or transform your suffering is going to sculpt your character, your being, and sculpt the destiny of your life. Just be with that. Does that resonate for me? So we have to have some techniques. Last week I was in Tucson, Arizona, presenting, and Sally Jo was the speaker last week, and she did a wonderful meditation called Sacred Holding, to acknowledge, heal, and reframe your suffering. And Sally Jo said, I think you asked me to do it again, the meditation, and I'll do it again, the meditation. Okay, so just be with that. I've got to find a way to kiss the difficult feeling within me. So we'll do sacred holding. That's a Sufi meditation. Okay, another point is, this book that we're currently reading, Zen and the Art of Saving the Planet by Thich Nhat Hanh, he says, please understand this. If you want to overcome, or not overcome, but really acknowledge, heal, and reframe your suffering, you have to cultivate higher understanding and compassion. These two words appear again and again and again and again in that book. Brother Jamal, can you heighten, deepen your understanding? Can you also deepen your compassion? If you do, Thich Nhat Hanh says, you'll realize in the perpetrator, there is also, as in you, a seed of compassion and a seed of violence is within me and within you. I repeat, Thich Nhat Hanh says, if you have that higher understanding, greater compassion, you'll realize in the person who has caused you suffering, in that person also, there is a seed of violence and also a seed of compassion. And if you are in that position where you are heightening your understanding and compassion, just your presence will make a difference. I was watching on Instagram a wonderful, no, it's not wonderful, but a very insightful incident where in Pakistan, actually, there was a shop, and there was the camera was there. That's how they caught the entire incident. Here was a father, I forget what exactly he was selling in that shop, and his little daughter, I think just 4 years old, and she was just sucking on a lollipop. And in bursts this robber and thief and slaps the father. Give me the money, give me the money. And he's nervous, you see. And the man is, of course, trembling and he's slow in giving. He slaps him again. Give me the money, give me the money. And he pours everything out. And then suddenly that little girl turns to the robber as she's sitting just next to the father, and she's just bewildered what's happening. She says, and please take my lollipop too. And this so touched the heart of that robber. See, seed of violence and also seed of compassion. He goes over to the girl, kisses her on the head and says, no, you keep the lollipop. And he returns the money and runs away. That was a beautiful story that, all captured on camera. But that for me was the ultimate understanding. There is in each one of us a seed of violence and a seed of compassion. And if I am able to, this book keeps saying again and again, if I'm able to expand my understanding of life. You see, in the Quran, do you know which is the most used word in the Quran? Allah, 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 Allah. But what is the second most used word in the Quran? Ilm, knowledge, awareness. So if I'm able to expand my awareness and deepen my compassion continuously, just my presence will create a situation where I'm able to awaken the seed of compassion in the other who is acting violently. And by the way, something else, if you expand your awareness, all the holy books say, all the holy masters say, when you're angry at someone, rightfully so, you're angry at their behavior, not their being. Can you make that discernment in your mind and heart? Kabir, who was both a Muslim and a Hindu, 15th, 16th century India, he said, when you meet an adversary, do what is right. Protect yourself. Don't allow yourself to be abused. Take the right action, which is one of the Eightfold Path in Buddhism, right action. Take the right action. Don't allow yourself to be abused. But then Kabir says, as you take the right action, I beg you, I implore you, make a discernment between that person's behavior and being, and just that discernment in your mind and heart has the power to shift heaven and earth. Just be with that. It's a subtle discernment. Subtle. My friends, you'll be happy to know I'm coming to a close. And see, we haven't talked at all about joy, so I'll just touch upon it. In Hinduism, there's a wonderful verse, from joy we have come, by joy we are sustained, unto joy we shall return. Joy is our birthright. What's the best way to feel joyous in life? The Quran suggests, be grateful for all of your blessings. So easy to overlook our blessings. The Quran says, which of your blessings will you deny? The Quran says, everything which exists in the heavens and the earth, everything which exists in the heavens and the earth is extolling the limitless glory of God. Everything on planet Earth and the heavens is extolling continuously the limitless glory of God. And Brother Jamal, when you express gratitude for whatever it is, you are joining a cosmic chorus and you become uplifted. Now we know this from all the studies, some classes we have done just on gratitude. They've done so much research. If at the end of the day, before you go to sleep, and I do that, just ask yourself, what was my blessing or blessings in the course of the day? And just be with that and just feel that blessing and be grateful for it. And that has the power to phenomenally change our lives. You know, some of you have heard of Rabia, 8th, 9th century beloved female sage in Islam. And true story, there was this man who had this terrible headache, and he had this turban all around him, like a bandage around his head, and he was loudly, moaning and shouting and saying, oh my God, this is terrible, this is terrible, this is terrible, it's so bad, And Rabia said, I'm so sorry you're having this terrible headache and you're jumping up and down, moaning and groaning. I'm very sorry for that, but I want to ask you a question. Have you ever had good times in your life? And he said, yes, many, many times I've had good times. Then she said, did you also at those times tie a turban around your head and jump up and down with joy? Now, this is not meant sarcastically, actually, but this is meant to just awaken us to the fact that we get so enmeshed in our sorrows and pain, we forget to celebrate our blessings. And particularly, and I'll end with that, with a story which you've heard, I think, at least 15 times, I think, in my ministry here. Becoming grateful for your blessings, particularly in times of affliction, difficulties. Okay, the story you're all familiar with, the fictional mullah has lost his donkey. He looks everywhere, and because, he's a well-known person, the entire village tries to find the donkey. They cannot find the donkey is lost forever. So if you remember, they come to give mullah the bad news that his donkey is lost forever. And where's the mullah? He's in the town square on his knees saying, Allah, thank you, Allah, thank you, Allah, thank you. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful. Mullah, you haven't heard the bad news. Your donkey is lost forever. I know, but I'm so grateful because imagine what could have happened to me if I was on the donkey. Which is this insight from the Native American tradition, in the Sufi tradition, other traditions, that Brother Jamal, if you're giving thanks to God, or whatever your belief system is, in times of affliction, you're giving thanks for unknown blessings already on their way. Okay, just be with that. I think, Sarah, secret holding will be too long. Let me just do a short meditation. Yeah. I'm being flexible. Because now this leads me to my most favorite insight about flexibility. Blessed are the flexible, for they will never be bent out of shape. Okay, I'll do the usual, my favorite technique of meditation. Just close your eyes. Sit comfortably. And let's start with the Buddha. Buddha's most favorite technique of meditation, something he said was his primary modality of meditation, which is simply this, he said. Focus on your nostril, become aware of your in-breath and out-breath, and simply breathe in and breathe out. Just this much, just be with that. Just being with the breath. Okay, letting go of this. And this time, please focus your attention on the heart. Our heart has been yearning, aching to connect with us. If it works for you, put your hand over the heart. If you like, the other hand on top of the hand you put on the heart, or you don't have to. But feel the rhythm of the heart, the beat of the heart. And by the way, this by itself is a complete meditation. Simply connecting with the beat of the heart. Allah is the heartbeat within the heartbeat. And now let go of this, and this time, with the heart, through the heart, please listen to this beautiful revelation. They came to the Prophet Muhammad in a dream where Allah says to humanity, "Beloved one," says Allah, "I cannot be contained in the space of the earth. I cannot be contained in the space of the heavens, but I can be contained in the space of the pure, loving heart." Just be with that. That divine heart is inside human heart. The space of the heart is actually infinite, boundless. And here is the Sufi meditation. As you focus on the heart, which is boundlessly spacious, plant words of beauty, words like, "I love you," or "You are loved." Try that. "I love you," with feeling. No matter how awkward it feels initially, try it, please. "I love you," or "You are loved." Telling your heart that again and again and again and again. You can never overdo this. "I love you. You are loved." You can add other words like, "I am so grateful. Thank you." You can keep on going like, "Please help me, help me. I surrender to you. I need help." But start with, "I love you. You are loved." You can take pauses in between. Then restart. "I love you. You are loved." And as you keep saying those beautiful words, a divine vibration infused with the blessings of spirit is going from the tongue into the mouth, into the throat, deeper into the chest, into the heart, even deeper into what is called the hidden, and even deeper into the hidden of the hidden, astonishingly loving us, healing us, transforming us, blessing us, divine blessings being showered upon us. Stop saying anything at all, just be with the heart and be open to receiving divine blessings, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Just being open to receiving. And now coming into awareness. This coming into awareness by chanting that chant we do quite often. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. One more time. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Sister Brenda. Thank you so much, Sister Brenda, for that soul-stirring music. But also tell them, you're doing some programs here in ICS. Just tell them very briefly.
I work with Heartfulness Meditation, which is based on Raja Yoga, and we're an international organization. We've come here before and presented, and we're a non-denominational, nonprofit, and we're international, and we will be hosting very shortly a Zoom free meditation at 6:30 on Thursdays that you can have access through the website here by the graciousness of Interfaith Community Sanctuary. And the piece is dedicated to my father, a retired Methodist minister who brought me into the cycle of Buddhism and cherished pluralism and interfaith. And that song was for him. Did I say that correctly? Okay. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you so much, Brenda. Thank you. Beautiful. It was a sermon in music almost. It felt like very beautiful. At this point, we like to take an opportunity to be grateful for this community and the beautiful building that we meet in every Sunday and many other days of the week, and all the different activities here that keep us nourished. And this beautiful historic site needs upkeep. We're always working on it, especially now that it's spring. We're working on the gardens outside. We're working on the painting the east side of the building soon. We're fixing the chimney, the holes in the chimney that the birds took great pleasure in building for us a couple of years ago that we have to be covering up. And we're all this takes funding, so we appreciate whatever offerings you can offer to help toward keeping us going here at Interfaith Community Sanctuary. And we know that out in the cyberspace, people are donating online at interfaithcommunity.org. Interfaith Community what is this place called? Interfaithcommunitysanctuary.org. Thank you, Bryce. I knew it was a mouthful, but I didn't know it was that big. And we also have some QR codes here in the program. If you like to just use your little telephone and get to the website, you can do it that way without having to typing in a thing. And we're deeply grateful. We also want to share all the different upcoming gatherings that are happening, most of which, as Brenda mentioned, are free. Many are online, many are in person, some are hybrid. And we really try to reach out to our members in so many different ways. Right after the service, we're going to reach out to your tummies and give you some good, nourishing food in our potluck luncheon below. And there is food in the oven, I know. We're going to have some lunch to serve you, and we have others who have shared their offerings as well, and we welcome you downstairs after the service for the potluck lunch. We also have next Sunday our brother George Ramirez, who you heard from just a little bit ago at the beginning of the service. He will be offering the congregant worship service next Sunday at 10 a.m. here in the sanctuary, and he will be sharing his insights on this beautiful discernment we've been working on this year with that Jamal was mentioning, the Zen and the art of saving the planet, and his take on some of those works. And George also has a Thursday meditation group in the evening in person here, Thursday evenings at 7 o'clock here in the sanctuary. We have next Sunday, after your service, George, we have a wonderful offering of something called Sacred Conversations, which is a time to gather, listen, and share with each other, and to come together. Again, there'll be a light lunch served. This is sponsored by Northwest Interfaith and three other, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is a wonderful program. It really done in collaboration with other houses of worship. One of them is Nirankari Mission. Another one is Unity of Linwood. And the third one is Center for Spiritual Living. And this particular program is called Project Feast. The idea is to get to know the other on a human level. So in the Native American tradition, there are tables, you keep on eating, talking with somebody, and there's a bell in the front. If somebody wants to say something about their life, recite a poem, or ask for a prayer for someone, they just go and ring the bell, and everybody keeps on eating but becomes silent. and then just listen to the person who has something to offer. When the person finishes, goes back, people start again eating, conversing, till somebody else comes up there and rings a bell. This is a very powerful technique, actually, which I've experienced pre-pandemic at least 3 or 4 times, maybe more. It was always very successful. So please do come, April 26th. Lunch is free, snacks are free, from 1:30 to 3:30. Project Feast, April 26th. And one last thing, a propaganda for my class. Based on the book, Zen and the Art of Saving the Planet, the last installment, 6-week class. We've been studying it for 12 weeks. This is the 6 more weeks, happening on Zoom. So if you're interested, please take this flyer. Thank you.
Also, I will say that we like eating around here. You know, have you noticed that? So there's another lunch opportunity, not here, but at the Ethiopian Community Center in Seattle, which is just south of here, down by the, a little bit south in the, past the New Holly Center, and it's the Ethiopian Community Center on Rainier Avenue South, and it's called Lunch, Learn, and Launch, and many of you know about Project Ethiopia, the project that Judith Sanderman and her past husband, Wilkins, started over 20 years ago, and it's still going strong in Ethiopia, and we are celebrating our spring fundraising drive, but we have speakers, stories, videos from Ethiopia, news from Ethiopia about our beekeeping project, and all the different ways we're getting back into education now that there's been a calming of the situation, which has been a difficult situation, particularly in our Dongla area this last few years. But the schools have reopened, and we are celebrating the fact that we are back into our education initiatives along with our other wonderful projects there. So we'd love to share that with you. It's called Lunch, Learn, and Launch, March 28th. Not March 20th, I'm sorry, that was the old date. May 2nd, which is a Saturday afternoon from 12 to 2, coming up. I think it's about 2 weeks, I think it'll be 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now, May 2nd. And this would be everybody invited. It's a free event, a free lunch, and there's an Ethiopian caterer who's going to be bringing us some beautiful Ethiopian desserts. We also have an interesting album release show happening here. Now, we don't always get into album release, but this seemed like a wonderful opportunity. 3 different folk singing groups came to me and asked if they could use our space on, this is May 8th, which is a Friday evening. And Friday evenings tend to be our musical soiree type of evenings. And they will be giving an album release party. I said, well, can our people come? You're welcome to take the space, but can we come? They said, of course, we'd love to have more people. And they made me this flyer. It's called Brother Dragon Pool Album Release Show. It'll be at 7 p.m. on May 8th. And they're asking for donation at the door. And I've met a couple of the folks, so there are 3 different bands, and they said it'll be very eclectic music. It's folk music, mostly. It's not hard rock or anything, but there are 3 different bands, and we'll be very interested to hear their musical offerings, and all are welcome to that. No registration required. Just show up and enjoy the music on Friday, May 8th. So there'll be more events coming down the line, but I think those are the main ones coming up, and we'll go on from there.
Okay. So my dear friends, thank you so much, Salijo. There's one point I forgot to make in my presentation. Just take a minute and a half. You know, when I went to Tucson, and I was talking about suffering, this beautiful couple, Pam Hale, and I forget her husband's name, who I've met many times because I go to Tucson every year and a half to do a presentation. And she talked about her daughter who had cancer and who died. And she was in her early 50s. So this is how she reframed and transformed her suffering upon her daughter's death. So she collected the beautiful poems of her daughter, who was a poetess actually, and was a faculty member at University in Colorado. And they put together this book. But I want to read what she wrote here. I'll use my third eye. I don't have reading glasses. This is the family of Laura Weaver, the daughter who died of cancer. This book is a collection of poems written by Laura Weaver, many of them in the last year of her life. We, her beloved family, have put the collection together to fulfill one of her deepest wishes. We miss Laura greatly every day. And yet, as a journey with grief progresses, deep sadness and pain begin to transform into gratitude for all she represented and all she taught us. And then she talks about the pain of her daughter who died. She adored her children, Simon Alexander, Maria Alexander, who were two of her three biggest reasons it was so hard for her to leave the earth plane. Meeting her granddaughter, Sophia Lily Alexander, was the fulfillment of her fondest wish. Alas, didn't happen. Not being able to be physically present as a long-term grandmother gave her the most grief. We hope this collection of Laura's poems speaks deeply to you, and that Laura's love of life serves as an inspiration for your own journey of the heart. May the river of awe flow through your life, bringing love, harmony, and beauty. It's just an example of how we can transform or reframe our deepest suffering. So my dear friends, it's time to say goodbye to all those on cyberspace. So please say your sayonara, salam, shalom, peace, namaste. Go in peace, and thank you so much for being with us. So now comes the time before we go down where the real service starts. What's the real service? Getting together with the other over beverages and food. And I mean it sincerely, and I mention this every time. You know, all the research they do about those wonderful speakers who speak in the conferences, where do the people learn the most?